What's up, guys? We are live today from Peerless Mill in Rossville, Georgia, a property that we've been working on for 4 years on my end as an investor. We're here at Building 21. Funny enough, before we get into what we're going to be talking about today, I didn't know this at the time, but when Dave and I were first trying to work together about 5 years ago, he was actually looking at buying this property.
We looked at it years ago.
Yeah, and we were trying to come in as the leasing team to help them with this. And so it's funny to have a full circle moment like this coming back. But we were live from Building 21, which is a 43,350 square foot warehouse with a 2.5 acre industrial outdoor storage laydown yard that we are going to be filming some content around today, talking about our plans, what we're going to be doing with it. And we figured since Dave has this beautiful van, with Starlink and all sorts of cool stuff, why don't we shoot our office hours update from here?
It's like a Starlink mini commercial.
Yeah,
the thing works everywhere.
That's
awesome. Right. But no, I think a big part of real estate is patience and time. And, deals come together, and sometimes they come together right away, and sometimes they take years before you can actually put together a project that you want to be working on doing. So it's exciting we're doing it.
Yeah.
If you've been following us on other office hours, we've been talking about this deal for probably like a month and a half now, 2 months, as we kind of got the nuts and bolts together. We went through all the CapEx inspections, and now we're up here saying, okay, what's the exact timeline on getting things rolling?
On getting it done, because this is going to be a building that we're actually taking out of Peerless Mill. Dave and I are going to be purchasing it out of that partnership, raising capital, syndicating it, bringing investors in, putting some money into this, and then leasing it out as flex space and industrial outdoor storage and getting it going.
Yeah, Peerless overall is like 1 million square feet.
Yeah,
right. It's an enormous project, but 43,000 square feet and
2.5
acres is a much more digestible size, especially do something that's catered to this iOS type project. So you can see behind us, we have a little bit of overgrowth. We've got some vines crawling up the walls back here. The part right above my head right here, this is the overhang as you kind of come in to the building that's in place right here. We don't get eaten by mosquitoes while we're out here doing this. But overall, we have a very good site that's ready to go, and obviously it needs some work. Everything we're trying to do is a value add project where you come in, you have to figure out what the problems are, and then you get after fixing them. So one of the big parts we had on our budget was to clear up this laydown yard. And you can see, it is definitely overgrown, but if we walk around and look at it, it has gravel on the ground already. Yeah. It is, it's in good shape. So we just got to clean it up and get the ball rolling on it.
It's pretty well set up. That's the great thing about it is, how often you have an opportunity to get into flex space and not have to pour the foundation and build the structure. You guys can kind of tell from looking at the loading dock over here, it's steel construction. We've got, a metal exterior to the building. It needs a new roof. It's going to need a new siding on the exterior. But the bones of it are there. The lot is already relatively flat. Apparently, it is perfect conditions for a swarm of mosquitoes today. And thank you guys for joining us on Instagram Live as well. We've got that going on my side. Sue is saying it is the perfect size. Thank you, Sue. Yeah, it is definitely like a digestible. Look, when you're looking at a project like Peerless Mill, which is 1.5 million square feet, it's 29 buildings on 32 acres. You take it down bite by bite. Right, you can't look at it as 1.5 million square feet, and so that's why we're starting with 43,000.
Yeah, and from a leasing standpoint, you can put out the greatest product in the world, but if there's no one there to use it, it's kind of pointless. So if you have 2 to 3 acres, like that's a digestible size that there's a lot of users out there that will come in and use that space versus saying, hey, we're gonna make a 50 acre laydown yard. It's like there's just not a lot of people that have come out and use that size of a space, or it's going to take too long to lease. Yeah. So 2 to 3 acres we can get rocking and rolling pretty quick on.
Yeah, and to give you guys some context as to where we are right now, we're about 5 minutes off of the interstate from downtown Chattanooga. If you take the Rossville Boulevard exit when you get to downtown Chattanooga, we're 5 minutes away. So we're about 8 minutes from downtown Chattanooga. And so it's very well located for these types of businesses, right? They don't necessarily want to be right in the middle of everything because then they have to pay for being right in the middle of everything. Yeah. And this is well located. It's got its own entrance over off of Westlake. So it's technically separated from the rest of Peerless, which makes it very convenient for these types of users to get in here. And we've got somebody asking, how flat is the laydown yard?
Yeah, let's try and we'll take a little look here real quick. and move this thing over here. But as you can see, I don't know if
the camera doesn't get blown out.
It's all blown out back there, but yeah, I mean, it's very flat.
It's
overall.
Pretty flat.
It was used as a laydown yard in the past, so it is already all gravelled. It is gated, so it's really just cleaning up the yard that is there. So, you're not driving through 2-foot tall bushes when you get through the property.
That's right. And there's a creek running through right here as well. There's already a concrete bridge with culverts underneath it that is in great shape. And so we're not going to have to do a whole lot of site work. I mean, we bought this property 4 years ago for about $4 a foot. We're selling it into our new partnership for just over $11 a foot. And that is $11 a foot on 43,000 feet. That's not even counting the 2.5 acres of land that we have here. So the basis that we're getting, we're basically buying the dirt and we get a building for free.
It's great. We back into the numbers of these deals with how they work, and we really target like how efficiently can we do the project, and what's the lowest rent we can charge to still have a successful deal. And in this situation, if we're charging $4.50 a square foot in rent, it covers what we're trying to do here and provides over a 10% return. So that's kind of like where we say, hey, what's the bare minimum we have to do on revenue creation to make it work?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, we're going to be going to market at least less than a half, if not a third of what market rates are in this area for comparable product, which some investors may say, well, aren't you leaving a little bit of meat on the bone by doing that? And to me, I'm like, well, if we're getting it for $11 a foot, we're investing, $20 a foot into it, where our basis is basically $30 a foot. We don't have to rent it out for market rates, which means that we can be more competitive and our lease up will go a lot faster, which means we're not having to carry that debt service.
Yeah, exactly. As we think about getting started on this project, I guess we really started about a month and a half ago, as you were saying, and now we're going into it. Our goal is we'll put the capital stack together in September, kind of starting after Labor Day, and then in October we would close, and we know what we're doing here, so we'd hit the ground running really like November 1st. We bring out pieces of equipment and get started.
Yeah.
We've got exterior work and roofing, and if you're going around a roofing crew, those guys are ready to go.
Yeah, which we're excited about. It's a cool building. It's when we show you guys, when the YouTube video comes out that Dave and I are shooting today, you guys will be able to see really how neat it is inside. I mean, we're talking about 20 foot plus ceilings, wide open bays. I mean, it's not clear span, but I think we've got 25 feet in between columns, which is, really, really good for what most industrial users are going for today. And Sue's asking, is it on the Chattanooga side or the Shelbyville side? It's a great question. We are directly south of downtown Chattanooga. So it's northwest Georgia. So definitely on the Chattanooga side of everything.
Yeah, and that changes things from there's different tax pieces that impacts, and in different employment benefits for companies that are, going above and below the Georgia line, right? That's definitely part of it. And Andy, thanks for the question here too. What about the utilities? We're actually like right across the street from a power substation that's over there, and we have power and everything run into it right now, and water. It needs new meters and everything. We got to upgrade the power boxes that are here. But we're typically doing that any site we get into that is older. We're going to upgrade the power that's coming into it, so it does work for really any kind of use that can come in to the site. Yeah,
and this building was built in the 50s or 60s, and so you're going to want to do all of that kind of stuff anyway. So definitely making some updates to that. We've got a decent amount of the budget for that. I mean, do we want to break down the budget, kind of where we're looking at spending things?
Based on it some. We're basically going to spend about $1 million overall, starting with the roof is the most expensive thing that we're doing, and then we're going to go to the siding and in building interior, and then we're going to go into mechanicals that we've got to work on, which is another $150,000. And then the site cleanup is really the fourth bucket. That's everything, and that includes cleaning and grading all the gravel that's here, but also redoing the fences, redoing the gate access and the doors into the site. It has 4 roll-up doors, and on this side right behind us here, it's a dock high door that's coming in here. So we'll have to make sure that it's just all clean, has the lights in there and everything. So that's the bulk of the work that we're doing here. And all of those are really major contracted trades that we quote out. We get the best price on it, not only price, but also like efficiency of how well and quickly can the work be done. So that's why we were able to start on that stuff pretty quickly.
Yeah, and you guys can see behind us here. I mean, it's grown up a little bit, and it's probably been 5 to 7 days since this was mowed. This time of year, Northwest Georgia, it gets absolutely nuts. You just have to maintain it. Is that a problem? No, not really. This is exactly how your yard would look if you didn't mow it for a couple weeks. So it's
Georgia here.
Yeah, it's Georgia, man. So all we have to do is come in here, mow everything back down. With the height that it is right now, you could actually just use a regular 0-turn mower and it'll be gone. Obviously, got to pull off the kudzu from the building there, get all that repaired up, which we'll be doing when we're doing the exterior siding.
But yeah, we plan to start basically the capital stack component or the fundraise part of the project. We're going to do all that in September to really put the deal together and look at the full numbers. And then the closing component of it would be in October, and the work would really get started in November. And we project it'll take us about 12 months to not only complete the work, but then lease the building and find a user that thinks this is, going to be a great spot for them.
Yeah, Sue said the fact that you have land helps. Obviously, space with land is nice. I couldn't agree more. I mean, a lot of the flex space that we're seeing built and developed today doesn't really have a laydown yard like this. Most people are coming in, they're building between 10 and 20,000 feet. So a quarter to a half of the size of what we'll have here. And then they typically don't have a laydown yard at all. And that's not necessarily a problem depending on the types of tenants that you're going for. But this is kind of a sweet spot, kind of that missing middle, if you will, when it comes to the flex world, because it's large enough to where, regional types of tenants that want to service not only Chattanooga, but also down to Atlanta and to Nashville will have enough warehouse space here to be able to run their operations out of a single location and have a laydown yard so that they're not taking up everything inside the space.
I mean, you can easily get 18-wheelers and trailers and everything put in here and heavy equipment with plenty of room.
Yeah,
so it makes it a very versatile site, which is really, why we're so excited about it.
Yeah, if I was interested in starting up more businesses, which I have to constantly tell myself we're not doing, I'm sure Dave is kind of the same way.
Yeah.
I would be starting a dumpster business here because with as much construction as there is going on in Chattanooga, the dumpsters can be hard to come by, and this is a great yard for it. Easy access to everything. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need to start more business. We need to stay focused on what we got. But
that's right.
Yes. So there's just a lot of options which we really like about this site.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun. So guys, we'll be here at Peerless for the rest of the day. If y'all have any questions, feel free to drop them in the permanent chat. If you are on LinkedIn, if you're following us on Instagram right now, tons of videos. Feel free to drop those questions into those videos that we've got, and keep an eye out on YouTube. Here in the next few weeks, we'll have a full video on this walkthrough for you guys, so that as we are bringing it to market, as we're getting ready to raise capital, close on it, and get started on construction, you guys will be able to see the full tour.
Yeah.
So cool. Appreciate you guys for joining us, and we'll see y'all in the next one.
See y'all. All right, let's go inside and take a look at this.
Let's do this.